We are kicking off fall with an exciting seasonal entree. Today, we are making butternut squash risotto. Let's do it. What's up? Welcome to Transcend the Table. My name is Pete Beck, and I am thrilled to have you with me as we charge into this fall season. Let's check out what you're gonna need to make this awesome Hell's Kitchen inspired butternut squash risotto. There is a lot of upfront prep that we need to do because we need to have all of our ducks in a row before we fire up that stove. Once that risotto is cooking, you are its bitch for the next 20 to 25 minutes. So you need to make sure you have all of your prep done, your mise en place all taken care of, because once that's on the stove, it demands your full attention. The first thing that we have to do is make our butternut squash puree. We'll talk about how we can get that prepped and ready to go. Then we're gonna get our mise en place taken care of. Essentially what that means is making sure that all of our ingredients are prepped and organized. Like I said, we have to get everything in a row before we fire up that risotto. So once we do that, we're gonna check and double check that everything is taken care of. At that point, we can fire up our chicken stock. We're gonna bring that to a simmer, and then everything's aligned, we can fire up our risotto. But first, let's talk about the fall staple, the butternut squash. This could be a daunting ingredient to prep. It's big, it's heavy. Don't be nasty. The skin is really tough and it's just dense overall. So we'll talk about the best and the safest way to prep our butternut squash. All right, this squash is a bit of a workout, but we're gonna make it a little bit easier. You're gonna wanna top and tail it and then break it up into some more manageable segments. That way you have flat edges to keep it sturdy on the cutting board. You're gonna go ahead and peel it. Make sure you get all that skin. It is very tough. You're going to have it. For the portion that has the seeds, you're gonna want to remove those. Definitely don't want those in there. And then you're gonna cut it into a nice 1/2 inch round and then dice it nicely. Once the squash is prepped, get a nice sized pan and melt about 3 tablespoons of butter. You're going to add the squash to the pan, cover it with foil. This allows the steam to escape and, have no condensation form to dilute. We want all that flavor. Cook it for about 20 minutes or until tender. Make sure you stir it. We don't want these to caramelize, so you want like medium heat here. Check it with a knife to make sure it's done and immediately remove it to a blender. We want to get it into the blender when it's still hot. This will ensure that nice velvet smooth consistency. Add that cream. Make sure you salt it well. You want to definitely have the seasoning right on there. Blend it up and look at that beautiful puree forming. The color is to die for. And when you go ahead to pour it, it is velvety, smooth, beautiful consistency. This takes your risotto to the next level. So there you have our butternut squash puree. It's velvety smooth. It's such a beautiful orange. And we're gonna have a lot of leftover too. So make sure you save that. There's a bunch of other recipes that you can make with this puree. So that's a win. Now that we're done with this, let's move on and get our mise en place all taken care of, and we'll get cranking on that risotto. All right, aside from measuring and getting everything organized, a few fun things we get to do. Number one, finely dice or brunoise a shallot like so. We love this. I don't know, I find this super entertaining. And even more so, I love chop and chives. Get a nice fine chop on those. Smells awesome, beautiful color. There you have it, let's roll. All right, it is go time. All of our prep is done. Our mise en place is squared away and our chicken stock is simmering. Now we got 20 minutes of pure focus and we're gonna have a beautiful fall risotto. Let's go. Get a pan going over medium to high heat. We're gonna oil it and we are going to toast our rice for about 5 minutes. It should just start to become fragrant. Make sure you're moving it around. You don't want to burn it here. You gotta start all over. Next, we're gonna add the shallots and sweat those off for about a minute or two. Then you're gonna hit it with the white wine and cook that off for about a minute until that alcohol is cooked off. If you smell it and you can feel that burning in your nostrils, the alcohol isn't cooked off. Once you get there, start feeding it chicken stock every minute or so. making sure that you're not drowning it, just enough to cover it and keep that risotto moving at all times. Like I said, you are this risotto's bitch until it's done, so do not think about leaving the stove. Keep stocking, keep stirring, give it a taste once it starts to become a little bit creamier. Now you're waiting for that rice to be cooked. You have to taste it. That's the only way you're gonna know. You can see that the rice is starting to plump up a little bit. Now it's done. We are going to add our butternut squash puree. Cook that for about a minute or two so it just melts in and incorporates with that risotto. This is the best part. You could start to see that orange incorporating throughout the whole risotto. It's starting to look beautiful. Its final form is coming through. We are in the final stretch. Then we are going to hit it with the Parmesan cheese. This is gonna help bind it and make it just so delicious and creamy. Bring that all together. And now we're gonna adjust the seasoning if it needs it. Add the salt after the cheese because the cheese is very salty in itself. Add the pepper. Hit it with the chives, one last stir, and that is beautiful. Go ahead and plate that immediately. All right, ooh, this risotto is done. We're gonna plate it right away. We'll test, give the plate a shake. It shouldn't be stuck, it should be moving around a little bit. Fresh parm. A few fresh chives on top as well. And now it's my favorite part, where I get to eat this. Here we go. Last bite. Gotta dig deep here. Unreal. I need a nap. So there you have it, a basic butternut squash risotto. Add lobster to it, add scallops, add shrimp, pancetta, anything that you could think of to take this dish to the next level. And when you do, take a picture of your masterpiece, tag us on Instagram at transcendthetable. As always, we would love to hear from you. Now, if you don't mind, I got a hearty risotto in my tum-tum. I feel the sleepies coming, but I got a sink full of dirty ass dishes I gotta take care of. Let me go do that. Thank you for joining. We'll catch you next time.